I've been doing a bunch of videos on this Carvana Corvette and the saga that is getting it repaired due to some things that weren't disclosed when I bought it. And there was a comment that came up, so I thought I'm just going to do this video maybe a little more like one take style and address the fact that people might say, well, you only got it resolved because you have a YouTube channel and leveraging the YouTube channel to get things taken care of. And I thought about that quite a bit, actually, about do I even tell Carvana that I have the channel, and what's the motivation behind that, and does that really impact how your average person, which it's crazy to say that because I'm just a regular guy, I just happen to record things and put it on YouTube, but it does have I guess some weight when you have a 100,000 subscriber YouTube channel. I just wanted to talk about that a little bit more. So when it comes down to it, I'm actually on my way right now to get this dashboard repaired, or actually to get a color match. We're not doing the repair today. But in that process, I thought, let's talk about it and just call it what it is. I don't think that me having a YouTube channel impacted enough to say that your average person couldn't get the same resolution that I got. I got the car, I could have returned it in the 7-day window. I made those warranty claims within that 7-day window. All of that is things that anybody could have done. And the truth is, when it came down to leveraging or saying, I have a YouTube channel, you guys, and I told Carvana, like, you guys are writing your story, I'm just kind of the person telling it. I said that because I don't think my channel impacted anything, at least enough to make that big of a difference, because had Carvana not come to bat and taken care of this dashboard the way that it seems as if they are now, since I posted that last video, they said that they will, it's all but taken care of. They reached out to the upholstery shop, they are paying them, and that's where I'm headed to right now to get the color match done. But really, when it comes down to it, had they not done that, I genuinely would have taken those next steps, which the channel would have had nothing to do with. I opted out of the arbitration clause, as I said I was going to. I had in writing that they were going to cover this repair at no expense to me, and I think your average person could have done the exact same thing. So a lot of the goal of what it is I was covering here in this series of the Carvana Corvette was, I'm simply telling the story the way that anybody else would have probably experienced it as well. Now, the only difference here is that if I didn't have, oh, you son of a, this guy just turned his blinker on as he was pulling out in front of me. So we get across the highway here because the tractor trailer is almost intentionally trying to cause an accident, it looks like. The only thing that I think is really different here, and if I had to be completely honest with you guys, is if I didn't have a YouTube channel, would I have kept the car? That's actually a better question. And it's a loaded one, because if I didn't have a YouTube channel, I don't know if I would have bought this actual car. The YouTube channel allows me to do things like this, and without you guys, none of that's been possible. So that's a big part of it. So maybe I would have bought a cheaper Corvette, as the fanboys love to tell me that I don't have a Z06. There's a handful of guys out there really pressed when I say that this is basically a Z06 convertible, whole other topic. But maybe I would have bought a Grand Sport, or even just a base model Corvette to, I don't know. I really don't know. So it's really hard to kind of unwind that whole thing. I have a YouTube channel and I record things, and that's why I'm able to have fun side little vehicles like this. So that's part of the reality. So let's remove that part of it. Let's just say that that wasn't the case, and I bought this spec and it came to me in the condition it did. Would I have kept it? I don't know the answer to that question. I think there's a big part of me that without the YouTube channel, I probably wouldn't have. It's hard to really say that, because the reality is what the reality is. I can play like a whole bunch of other what if scenarios, but armchair quarterback, I don't really know what I would have done. But all of that doesn't really matter, because I do think that as long as, even without being a social media influencer, which I hate that term, or having a social media presence, I think the average person could have done exactly what I did, which was make educated decisions every step of the way, not make emotional decisions, document everything, and then use whatever tools you have at your disposal to get the situation rectified as a consumer should. So, I've seen other comments from people who are like, "Oh, you're just complaining and like get over it." It's like, no, I bought a car that was priced at the condition of which they had presented it to me, and I didn't get it in the condition of which it was presented to me, and I gave them, or have been giving them, the ability to make it right. And I think that's honestly the right way to approach it. So I am not someone who's going to just roll over and accept that, oh, well, I bought an old car and the condition is what it is. I am very much a David and Goliath kind of guy, and I have absolutely no problem taking on Goliath. And it just seems like in some of the comments there's also a lot of people who would just roll over and take it. It's never been who I am, never will be who I am. So no, I don't think that my YouTube channel really made a huge impact one way or the other. Now, maybe without the YouTube channel, they would have made me go the route of suing them, but I still think that the evidence was so much in my favor that your average person without a social media presence would have went to court and won that case very, very easily. And guess who doesn't care if you have a YouTube channel? The courts. They could care less. As a matter of fact, if anything, a YouTube channel and social media presence and trying to wield that to influence the outcome of a court case actually would probably go the opposite way and have a negative outcome on that. So I digress. I just wanted to address that in one video, because having that social media presence of sharing these kinds of stories on the internet, as I do, is important to me to make sure that I look at the whole picture, which is, yes, I do have a social media influence, and sometimes you can wield that to get results. I guess the other part of that I probably left out is there's also a really bizarre component to this of choosing to keep it and having a company kind of turning the screws to you as a YouTuber. There is a weird part of that where you're like, oh, well, this is going to be content, which is really a weird way to look at things, but it's just true. But that doesn't exist without them creating that content to be had in the first place. So it really is, in the content creator space, like a choose your own adventure sort of scenario for these companies. But I think that part of the power of social media is having people like me just presenting you guys the information as it comes, because if they're doing it to me, that means they're probably doing it to other people as well. And using your platform to showcase how this stuff goes, I think, is equally as important as it is wielding it to get like a favorable outcome. So I don't know, a lot of words to kind of go a lot of different directions here, and appreciate the fact that there's a lot of different things involved in this scenario, and it's weird, but it is what it is. And no, I think your average person could have probably gotten the same outcome as long as they were making educated decisions, documenting their case, and doing the best that they could to, I guess, stand on business. And that's kind of what I feel like I've been doing. So with that said, I just wanted to make a quick little video, I guess, talking about my perception of a very complicated thing, which is social media. But also, I want to make it very clear that I'm trying really hard, and I always have on this channel, to make my content be that resonates with your average person, and not just be an influencer wielding their platform to whine and cry to get results either. So with that said, stay along with this adventure. I'll show you guys what happens with this dashboard as time goes on. Again, I just wanted to address, I guess, that elephant in the room the best I could. So with that said, thank you guys very much for tuning in. If this is your first time tuning in, hit that subscribe button down below. Remember, likes go a long way to help support the channel, and I will see you guys next time.